When we look back at the history of money, it's clear that the concept of currency has always evolved alongside society itself. From bartering livestock and grain, to the first metal coins in ancient Lydia, to the paper bills that revolutionized trade in China, and finally, to the digital numbers in our bank accounts today, money has continuously adapted to meet the needs of its users. Now, in the early 21st century, we find ourselves at the dawn of another revolution, the rise of cryptocurrency. But is cryptocurrency truly the future of money? To answer this, we must explore what cryptocurrency is, how it works, the promises it holds, the challenges it faces, and what the world might look like if this bold experiment becomes the new norm. Cryptocurrency, at its core, is digital money. Unlike the dollars, euros, or yen we use every day, cryptocurrencies are decentralized and rely on cryptographic technology to secure transactions and control the creation of new units. Bitcoin, the first and most well-known cryptocurrency, was introduced in 2009 by an individual, or perhaps a group, using the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. The original vision was simple yet profound: to create a peer-to-peer electronic cash system that could operate outside the control of governments and banks. Unlike traditional currencies, which are issued and regulated by central authorities, cryptocurrencies are maintained by a network of computers using a technology called blockchain. Think of blockchain as a public ledger, a record of every transaction ever made, open for anyone to inspect, but impossible to alter without consensus from the network. This transparency and security are among the key innovations that make cryptocurrency possible. Cryptocurrencies offer several advantages over traditional forms of money. First, they promise lower transaction costs, especially for international payments. Sending money across borders with a bank or wire service can be slow and expensive. But with cryptocurrency, transactions are processed quickly and often at a fraction of the cost. Second, cryptocurrencies can offer financial inclusion to the billions of people worldwide who lack access to traditional banking services. All you need is a smartphone and an internet connection, and you can participate in the global economy. Another potential advantage is privacy. While most cryptocurrencies are not completely anonymous, they can provide a higher degree of privacy than conventional banking systems, where every transaction is tied to your identity. For some, this is a matter of principle. For others, a practical deterrent against surveillance or censorship. But perhaps the most revolutionary aspect of cryptocurrency is its decentralized nature. By removing the need for trusted intermediaries, cryptocurrencies empower individuals to control their own money. This is particularly appealing in parts of the world where inflation, corruption, or political instability have eroded trust in traditional financial institutions. Yet with all these promises, there are significant challenges that cryptocurrencies must overcome if they are to become the future of money. The first and most obvious is volatility. The value of major cryptocurrencies, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, can swing wildly from day to day, making them difficult to rely on as a stable store of value. For most people, the idea of their paycheck losing half its value overnight is unthinkable. Scalability is another issue. While blockchain technology is secure and transparent, it is also relatively slow and resource-intensive. Processing transactions for billions of people requires a system that is fast, efficient, and capable of handling massive volumes. Current blockchains are still struggling to keep up with demand, though new solutions are being developed all the time. Regulation poses another challenge. Governments are still figuring out how to approach cryptocurrencies, and their responses range from enthusiastic support to outright bans. Some worry about the use of cryptocurrencies for illegal activities like money laundering, tax evasion, or financing terrorism. Others are concerned about the loss of control over monetary policy, which could make it harder to respond to economic crises. Then there is the question of energy consumption. Bitcoin mining, in particular, has been criticized for its massive use of electricity, leading to concerns about environmental impact. While newer cryptocurrencies are moving toward more sustainable consensus mechanisms, this remains a pressing issue for the industry. Despite these challenges, the world is watching as cryptocurrencies continue to evolve. We are already seeing promising signs of mainstream adoption. Major companies are accepting cryptocurrencies as payment. Traditional financial institutions are getting involved, offering cryptocurrency services to their clients. Governments are exploring the idea of central bank digital currencies, digital versions of their own money, inspired by the technology behind cryptocurrencies. If cryptocurrency does become the future of money, what might that world look like? Imagine a global economy where anyone, anywhere, can send or receive money instantly and cheaply, where financial services are accessible to all, regardless of geography or income, where the value of money is not dictated by the policies of a single government, but by the collective decisions of millions of participants in a decentralized network. In such a world, power would shift from centralized institutions to individuals. Remittances from migrant workers would flow more freely to families back home, without being eaten up by fees. Entrepreneurs in developing countries could access global markets without relying on local banking systems. People living under repressive regimes could safeguard their wealth from confiscation or hyperinflation. But this future would not be without risks. The loss of central control over money could make it harder to prevent financial crises or enforce laws. New forms of crime and fraud could emerge, requiring new forms of oversight and regulation. And the rapid pace of technological change could create winners and losers, both among nations and within societies. The question, then, is not simply whether cryptocurrency will become the future of money, but what kind of future we want to build. Will we use these new tools to create a more open, equitable financial system? Or will we allow them to become instruments of speculation, exclusion, or harm? Cryptocurrency has already made a profound impact on the world. In countries facing hyperinflation, like Venezuela or Zimbabwe, people have turned to Bitcoin and other digital assets to protect their savings. In places where banking services are unreliable or inaccessible, cryptocurrencies have enabled peer-to-peer commerce and provided a lifeline for small businesses. At the same time, the rise of cryptocurrency has sparked a speculative frenzy, with fortunes made and lost overnight. The lure of quick profits has drawn in millions of new investors, but it has also led to scams, hacks, and financial heartbreak. The industry has seen its share of controversy, from the collapse of major exchanges to high-profile thefts worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Amid this turmoil, innovation continues. Developers are working on new types of cryptocurrencies that address the shortcomings of the original designs. Stablecoins, for example, are digital assets pegged to the value of traditional currencies like the dollar or euro, offering the benefits of cryptocurrency without the volatility. Other projects are experimenting with more efficient and sustainable ways to secure blockchains, reducing their environmental impact. Meanwhile, regulators are beginning to catch up. In some countries, governments are embracing cryptocurrencies, seeking to attract innovation and investment. In others, they are imposing strict controls or outright bans, fearing the loss of monetary sovereignty. The outcome is likely to be a patchwork of different approaches, as nations experiment with what works best for them. For the average person, the future of cryptocurrency may seem uncertain. There are still many unanswered questions. Will cryptocurrencies ever be as easy and intuitive to use as cash or credit cards? Will they ever achieve the stability and security that people expect from their money? Will governments find ways to regulate cryptocurrencies without undermining their core benefits? One thing is clear: the genie is out of the bottle. The technology behind cryptocurrency has shown that it is possible to create money that is digital, decentralized, and secure. It has challenged our assumptions about what money is, who controls it, and how it should work. And it has opened up new possibilities for the future of finance. As we look ahead, we must weigh the risks and rewards of this new paradigm. The path forward will require careful thought, collaboration, and a willingness to adapt. It will require new laws, new technologies, and new ways of thinking about value, trust, and community. Cryptocurrency is not just a new kind of money. It is a new way of organizing economic life. It has the potential to democratize finance, empower individuals, and create a more inclusive global economy. But it also carries significant risks, and it will not solve all of our problems overnight. Whether it becomes the future of money will depend on the choices we make, the systems we build, and the values we uphold. In the end, the story of money is the story of humanity itself, a story of innovation, adaptation, and the constant search for better ways to connect, trade, and prosper together. Cryptocurrency is the latest chapter in this ongoing narrative. Whether it is the final chapter or just the beginning of a new era, only time will tell. As you consider the future of money, reflect on what matters most. Is it convenience and speed, security and privacy, inclusion and fairness? Or is it something deeper, the ability to trust, to create, and to build a better world for all? The answers to these questions will shape the future of money, and with it, the future of our society. Cryptocurrency offers a glimpse of what is possible, but the journey is just beginning. The choices we make today will determine the world we inherit tomorrow.